Hurricane Chris. Hey, babe, hey. So he decided to kind of backtrack what he's said against 50. And he recently did an interview with Real Life Productions. And then he's also done like a local news interview talking about what he said to 50, blah, blah, blah. And basically the gist of this is that Hurricane Chris that morning says he woke up to a bunch of texts of people getting mad. He got like 100 texts, right? And the reason why is because 50 said it's no more ratchet in the city. Now, ratchet, in terms of, just general public, view the word ratchet as something bad, right? When you say, oh, man, that's ratchet, that's ghetto, that's like, not classy, right? That's how some people view the word ratchet. But in Louisiana, that's a word that they invented, and they view it as something different, more special, right? I don't know the history of it, so I'm not pretending to even act like I know. But Hurricane Chris, when 50 said, it's no more ratchet in the city, he's going to clean the city up. Basically, that's what he's saying. He's implying. A lot of people that love Shreveport, that love the history of the word ratchet, got upset, so they text Hurricane Chris, hey, man, and Hurricane Chris is the one that has a voice for the city, pretty much, at least the biggest voice that's there. So he said he was heated off that, and that's why he acted the way he acted in the videos, which I can understand, but, I'm 29. I've learned that for the most part, 90%, maybe 95% of the time, I don't react to things when I'm mad. I usually take time out of the day. Usually 72 hours is the rule. Within 3 days, if you're still not mad about the situation, let it go. But if you're still heated and you still feel the same way, then, hey, let your thoughts be heard. But he reacted too quickly. I think that's what he's admitting to. And now he's kind of backtracked and said 50 can do what he does, and he doesn't have to check in with me. Like he clearly made it clear that he's not the type of person to make people check in with him. And he said, listen, I just want that hospitality, and you could have tapped in and just, said what's up and blah, 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 blah. So let's play the news clip, and, you guys will hear what he had to say.
Next thing that we're going to discuss, G-Unit officials are saying that 50 Cent is preparing to host another Human Harmony Festival in the future. And then his G-Dome that we saw is going to be permanent in downtown Shreveport. So are you willing to reconcile with 50 Cent and work with him in the future?
Yeah, bro, I'm willing to work with him. Like I told you, I think it's a big misunderstanding, and we actually need to sit down. Like, as he a dude that's from urban community, so I think he understand what I just said very well. I couldn't go to his community and rename it and without knowing that it was significance to the names that I was saying that we taking out of here. A lot of disrespect has happened, and I'm willing to sit down and we fix everything. I'm willing to sit down and talk and peaceful and just go have some drinks or have something to eat. Or maybe I could take you to my grandma's house and let her give you some real soul food.
So yeah, that's just like a clip of it. I can't really play too much because of copyright. But basically, continuing on, he said, first off, let me start by saying it's no hate for 50 Cent, the Human Harmony Festival. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad 50 Cent came to Shreveport. But where he went wrong in the beginning, when he originally came to Shreveport, the first thing he started to voice was no more ratchet. This ain't Ratchet City anymore. If you know anything about the Shreveport history, we call ourselves the Ratchet City. And when a person says that, they don't mean that this is a dirty, nasty place. We have an artist, late and great, that died by the name of Ratchet Life, and he had the city in his hands. So it was a great disrespect for you to come into this city and say, we're getting the ratchet out of the city. We have people under this ground buried that have had attached their name to their legacy, added Chris, who named his debut album 5150 Ratchet. And then he said, you couldn't go to New York and say, this ain't the Big Apple. You couldn't go to New Orleans and say, we're not naming this the Big Easy. We couldn't go to Dallas and say, we're not calling this the D-Town anymore. Yeah, so basically just saying that's where that, but this is what I mean. When you get mad, you don't have a clear train of thought. So when he was recording those videos, he didn't mention any of that. I didn't hear any of that in the videos. All I heard was, you're giving 500,000 police, you're not checking in. Basically, I know people, when I made the video previously that actually went viral on Instagram, it's got 1 million views on there. When I'm talking about what Hurricane Chris said, I know Hurricane Chris didn't say the word check in, but he's implying that. He's saying, man, you ain't even blah, 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 come, But Yayo got interviewed by Vlad, and even Yayo said, had Hurricane Chris just came to the event, 50 is not, he's like, 50 is not a hater. he would have let him in and chill, and you guys probably would have talked. Like it's literally that simple. At that status, if I was tapped in like that, like let's just say I was tapped in Atlanta and diverse mentality, Quake, blah blah blah, 50 doesn't know, I would have just pulled up and been like, yo, Quake, people in Atlanta that would have known me would have been like, yo, let him through, blah blah blah. 50 would have probably been like, people probably would have told 50, hey, this is the guy, he's made a lot of connections here, he's done his thing, tap in with him, blah blah blah. And that's how shit like this goes. It's really that simple. I don't see 50 being the type of guy to be like, yo, fuck Hurricane Chris, he's not going to be able to come in. He knows who Hurricane Chris is. He knows about A-Bay. At least most people know about that record. As much as people want to clown him and say he's a quote-unquote one-hit wonder, which I don't think he is. He has the Halle Berry record that did well. And then, he did the Mike Jones Drop and Give Me 50. He was featured on that. And they had one more record, I think, that did pretty well, man. So I don't think to me, he's not really a one-hit wonder, but most people just know him for that song, right? So I don't think 50 would have been like, oh, he's a one-hit wonder, he's not coming in here. Like, he would have been like, yo, what's up? Like, now, would you would have been able to have a full conversation with him? Probably not, because 50's a busy guy. It's a billionaire. It's moving around, making sure that Shreveport's a good place and Human Harmony is a good event, blah, blah, blah. So, I think you could have handled this better. That's what I'm saying. When you get heated in the moment, you're not thinking clearly. You're letting other people rile you up, and then it ends up, that's the impression that 50 gets, that clip that goes viral, the first one. And that's not what you want, man. You want an impression like this where you're like, hey, this is where the misunderstanding is. And I wanted to have a conversation with you, 50. But would it have gone viral if Hurricane Chris approached it with a more calm video? That's the question. I think less people would have posted about it because controversy sells. Like, that's just the reality of it. And right now, Hurricane Chris is literally doing like an interview run off of just what's happening in the situation. So we'll keep our eyes posted. I think 50 is a cool enough person at this age in his life and stage that he doesn't really care, like, to get into issues and beef with people. Even though he trolls on the internet, I don't think he doesn't take like 90, like in the Give Richard I Trying documentary. I don't know if we posted this clip, but when I was talking to Red Spider, he said the reason why 50 wins a lot of these beefs is because he just doesn't care. He treats it like a game. It's a joke, while other people take it very serious. So that's been 50 his whole like career pretty much. Even though he's gotten into some real street shit, some of the beefs he took were very, very serious. Some are just like trolling, man. It's not that big of a deal. He's back friends with Cameron, back friends with Bad Joe, all these other people that he beefed with. The only ones he's obviously not going to be friends with is Ja Rule, Game, and then even Rick Ross, because a lot of those stem from more serious things. But yeah, we'll keep our eyes posted and see. I'm sure 50 would probably be open to linking up with Hurricane Chris again.